Hey guys, I'm going to do a Civilization V gameplay here. I'm playing as the English on a standard sized map on King difficulty with a standard game pacing. I'm going to go ahead and as I play I'll describe some things for people who haven't played this game before. And I've owned this game for a while now, but I recently got back into it after I built a new computer, which with a good graphics card and whatnot. I originally got into Civ when I played Civilization Revolution on the Xbox 360 with my friends, because it was really fun to just like strategize and like screw your friends over and whatnot. But this is kind of a more complex version of that, obviously. So I'm gonna go ahead and settle here, London, and explore over here with my soldiers. And I've found ancient ruins. Ancient ruins can upgrade your units, give you population growth, give you gold, I think. That's barbarians. And they can give you a technology. So I'm gonna build a granary now. What a granary is gonna allow me to do is it's gonna give me increased food production when I harvest, and also extra food production when I harvest wheat trappings, or what is it, or bananas, but I don't have any bananas right now obviously. But and so I'm going to research that, and right now I'm going to start with building a monument. The monument's going to increase my culture, and it's going to give me more rapid expanse, which is what I like to go for early in the game. The early game can be a little dull, so I'm going to try to speed through it as much as possible. There we go. Okay, so that's just going to give me some vision of the outline of my surroundings. Okay, so good. I'm going to keep going forward. This game has a really nice soundtrack. You probably can't hear it very well because I have the sound down for recording reasons, but the songs, I watched a behind the scenes thing that's provided with the game, and the songs are all based off folk songs or traditional songs from that culture, and are kind of tweaked into a more orchestral arrangement, which is it's pretty relaxing if you just listen to that. They provide you with the soundtrack if you buy the Game of the Year edition, I think. So they've revealed nearby barbarian encampments. There's one there, and one there, and one over here. Okay. That's actually pretty close to my city, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm gonna keep exploring. Unless they start attacking, there's no reason not to. I'm gonna go try to take out this barbarian encampment. Attack from a hill. I'm gonna go around, flank them. See, so basically there's different types of terrain. There's open and rough. Now, rough includes forests, hills, mountains, and such. And basically, you get a terrain modifier on your combat, where hills give you plus 25% defense. If you attack across a river, you get a minus 25% penalty to your combat strength and whatnot. So there's a little bit of a strategical element where you want to position your units in a beneficial tile, so that you don't either get destroyed by a weaker unit, or if you're at a health disadvantage and you position yourself on a hill, you have a better chance of coming out on top in an engagement, because even though you have less units you have less individual warriors in your unit, you still have that combat advantage to back them up a little bit. Right here I'm just gonna tough it out, just take it directly, but having some weird lag right here, but okay, that was actually kind of a close one. So I'm just going to change my production. I'm going to build, since my since my pottery isn't actually completely researched yet, I'm going to go ahead and just build a worker. And yeah, now so London has grown in population. That's going to give me increased production, gold, and food. And with my culture being +3, my border growth is in 2 turns, and that will give me access to either one of these cotton, which is nice. It's going to be an early gold boost once I build a plantation on that. And now I have research gunnery. One thing I really like about this game is when you get a new technology, there's a quote from some piece of literature that pertains to the technology and what it does. And what I feel is, you kind of feel like you are learning, you're getting a little bit of a cultural view of what's going on. I mean, it's not exactly historically accurate for obvious reasons, but it's still interesting and intriguing to kind of get like a new view on like the way mankind sort of evolved through various technologies and researches. So that's kind of cool. And I'm gonna just go ahead and, since if you look at my city, it's got a lot of rough terrain near it, so I'm gonna go ahead and level that up as to give them increased rough, 20% combat strength in rough, because there's a bunch of forests right next to my capital, which is not always ideal. But now that I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and go research calendar, because that's going to give me access to Stonehenge, which is a good early wander. It gives you culture, a lot of culture actually. It gives me double what my culture is already, and it also gets you closer to getting a great engineer, which gives you a great early boost in science, I think. So, or engineer might be factories, I'm not sure. I haven't played this game in a while, but so I'm going to go into that, and that'll also allow me to build a plantation on one of these 2 cotton, whichever one becomes my border first, and then following that the other one, and that's going to give me gold. And I think it's a luxury item, I'm not sure, but if it is a luxury item, it also gives me happiness, which is going to boost me towards my first golden age. Okay, so we're getting close to my capital with my warrior. Once I get in here, I'm going to fortify, probably garrison it in the city once it's fully healed. And my workers should be coming out pretty soon, 10 turns. Not that soon, actually, but it's alright. And now I can adopt a policy. Now, there are 3 policies you can choose from at the very beginning. You can choose honor, which is more combat-oriented. It gives you a 25% combat bonus versus barbarians, and you gain culture when killing a barbarian. That's kind of useful, but I'm not going super crazy on the attacking barbarians this early, because they can really clear out your early units. Like you started with 1 warrior, and that warrior can be killed very easily by barbarians on higher difficulties. Liberty is a more these are both for rapid expansion, but this is going to give me more city expansion, since I'm not wanting to build a lot of early. I don't want to build a variety of cities very early. This is going to be helpful to just build on the cities I have, which is currently. So basically, when I adopt that gives me 3 culture in my capital, and it's going to greatly increase the expansion of my borders. So now I do have that cotton. I'm going to try to get my worker out. Move this into here. And fortify. Now fortify until healed means it's going to get a defensive bonus if attacked, because it is on the defensive. It is in a defensive state. It does only have 1 health, so if it was attacked, it would probably die. But since it's fortified, it's going to gain its health back over every turn, and eventually it will be at full strength again. See, like that, gained 3 or 2. So okay, now I can adopt another policy. Now this is a good later game policy. It allows you increased production when building wonders, and happiness for every 10 citizens in a city. Now if you look, I only have 2 citizens in my city right now, so that's not very helpful policy early game, so I'm going to save that for later. And this is for when you're being attacked, and those barbarians are getting kind of close, but I'm not really worried about my city falling to barbarians. So garrison strength doesn't really help me too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just build this into legalism. It's going to give me access to these 2 later policies in the tree, and it also gives me a free cultural building in each city once I have a cultural building available. So I'm going to get population growth in 2 turns, and now I can actually engage in combat with these guys with my city. Now, this is one thing they added. This was probably in Civ 4. I never played Civ 4, but from Civ Rev, if there was no units in a city to defend it, you could just move right into that city and take the city, which was kind of a pain, because early game you only gave 1 warrior, and you'd move your warrior out to explore, and then maybe another person happened upon your city and just took it in 1 turn. So that was kind of an issue. But this, they gave you innate defense with your city, which is nice. Now my city has grown, population growth, and that's giving me additional food, and I think the city strength goes up a bit. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was 6, now it's 9. I'm not entirely sure though. And my workers coming out in 3 turns. It's going to really help me because of that.
So teach us to number our days, so that we may
now I have
apply
calendar,
our hearts unto wisdom.
which gives me Stonehenge and stone works if I have a worked source of marble or stone, which means I need a quarry, and that'll boost the production I get from my quarries. But I don't have any. Actually, I do have some stone, so I have quite a bit of stone actually. So I'm gonna get masonry next. No, actually, I think you need mining for that. Let me check. You can open the tech tree, and yes, you need mining. So I'm gonna go into mining. Now my workers coming out soon. What workers do is they look at the tiles. They go to the tile. They work on the tiles that you have in your border, and they add various enhancements. Like you can build a lumber mill in the forest to give you production, a quarry on stone to give you production in gold, a plantation on cotton, a farm on grasslands, and you can clear a forest and build anything on the grasslands that form. But right now, I'm just gonna defend. My worker's gonna come out next turn. There we go. My worker is here. Now I'm going to go ahead and build a granary. Granary is going to give me food production early, and it's going to be +2 food production right away, and then for each source of wheat, bananas, or deer worked by my workers, I'm going to get an extra food. Now I don't have any sources of that right here. Yeah, I have deer right there, but I don't have any sources of that currently available. But oh, I should actually probably move these over to the plantation, over to the cotton. So I'm gonna go try to take out this barbarian encampment over here. Warriors. Oh, I'm behind on military. Units do level up. Combat units level up when they gain XP from successful combat ventures, and they gain various bonuses like increased combat strength in open terrain such as grasslands or tundra, or increased combat strength in rough terrain such as forests, marshes, hills, whatnot. Okay, so I can now start building my plantation. That's going to give me gold on the cotton, and it will connect cotton to my empire. So if my citizens ever desire cotton, that's gonna boost my happiness, and excess happiness will get you all the excess happiness you have from each turn is put into your golden age counter, and when your golden age counter reaches 500 or whatever the value is later on, you get a golden age, and when you have a golden age, it gives you increased production in gold, which is helpful.
The meek shall inherit the earth, but not its mineral rights.
So now I have mining. I can build mines on hills, but I don't think I have any hills on my border just yet. No, but I'm going to get one. And wow, I can expand in literally every single direction. It's interesting. I'm gonna add it to a queue so I don't have to micromanage this. I'm gonna add a Warrior. Just build another warrior. So I'm gonna go ahead and fight these guys. That was a good victory. Now for my science, I'm gonna go into masonry. I'm gonna research masonry. Now masonry will allow me to build a quarry on those stone resources in my near my capital, which is gonna give me a boost in production. And good thing they moved away from their encampment, because I don't want to be double teamed there. So yes, I'm gonna take those out nicely. That's no problem there. And I can get a new policy. So monarchy gives me +1 gold and -1 happiness for every 2 citizens. That's a little bit more of an early games policy than aristocracy, but this is +10% growth and 2 food in the capital. That's very good. I'm gonna get that right away. Give me early expansion, which is what I'm going for here. Now the plantation will be done in 2 turns, and once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and build a quarry here. I'm gonna wait to build my other plantation until I have a quarry. But now I'm going to move over here and fortify, because this is a safer area. This is actually a really good place to settle if you want a lot of food. But there aren't a whole lot of resources around for a while, so you'd be stuck just with your population growth early. You could build a market if you choose. Market gives you extra gold. But I'm just going to fortify here, heal up my warrior. Okay, now that my plantation is done, my happiness has increased. +4 from the cotton, that's a lot. And now I'll build a quarry on the stone. Actually, I do not have masonry yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and build that extra plantation here. And then I'll get animal husbandry, because I'm gonna come up on this really soon. Build another plantation. That'll give me extra happiness and gold, because it is a luxury resource. And my warriors are healing up. They heal less if they're outside of your borders, but I don't want to move them all the way back just to heal. They'll be fine. So, and then that player has entered the classical era. I'm a bit behind on that stuff, I think.
Dios bendiga a aquellos que lo merezcan. Soy Isabel de España.
Okay, I've met Spain. Goodbye. Okay. Yeah, this is around the time when you start to meet other players in the game. So I have masonry now. I can construct a quarry, and I can clear marshes. That'll give you increased movement if you're trying to move stuff quickly through your cities and there's marshes in the way, because marshes are like a mountain. It takes a whole turn to move through one tile of marsh, and so you can clear them with your workers, but right now that's not a huge priority. I will go into animal husbandry now. And my granary is now going to be completed, so I will get a boost of population growth. I'm going to move my workers over to the stone. I'm going to start working on my quarry. You know, the warrior has become more powerful than the barbarian defense-wise, and I do have a bonus to... Okay, I've leveled up again. Now, I might just boost my buff even more. Okay. I'm going to build a quarry that'll connect the marble. This is marble. This is stone and this is marble. Marble is a luxury resource. It will give me happiness. And I'm gonna do that. So build that quarry there. That'll also give me access to a stoneworks, which isn't a wonder, but it is also, I don't think it takes that much production to build. Yeah, it's only 75. It's the same as a it's not actually a wonder, it's just a building, so that's why it's less.
Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn.
So now I can build a pasture on those cows, and I'm gonna get trapping, because I'm soon gonna have those deer in my city. Or actually, no. I'm gonna go ahead and move into something else. Writing is a good science technology. Crap, I'm probably gonna lose the scene. Yeah. It's unfortunate. But I'll build some new I'm gonna build some new military units soon. And those barbarians are now moving into my city. It's not too pleasant. My warrior is coming out in 3 turns, so this shouldn't be too big an issue. The only problem is if they raise my yeah, they did raise my plantation, which is a pain. What unit needs orders? Did they finish the quarry? No. Sometimes you have to redirect them to do what you already told them to do, which is kind of a pain. But it shouldn't be too big of a problem later, once you sort of just stop micromanaging. And my city should be able to pick that off just fine. I'll start walls, but I'll probably change it to stoneworks once the quarry is completed. This'll teach you to mess with England, barbarian. Okay, I actually did get it. I was like, that would have been really dumb. So I'm gonna use my warriors. Here's a little strategic tip: if barbarians are close to your capital or your city where these workers are working, they can be taken very easily. So I'm gonna position my warriors over the workers as they work, just to protect them from just a simple like theft of my workers, which does happen. For my policy, I'm gonna get monarchy. It gives me gold and unhappiness for every 2 citizens. I now have 6 citizens, so that's gonna be a good boost. I'm gonna change that production to a stoneworks.